Happy holidays. So I don't know what kind of a Monday you're having, but that might be the type of Monday that I'm having. I'm going to talk to you today about this super cool thing, tomatoes and thyme. Tomatoes and thyme. So, first of all, show me some love. You can give it a like. I'd love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment anything on any of the videos on my YouTube. If you comment and share and tag, I will just love you for it. Know that that is worth a lot there. Okay, so let's hop into this. This is really cool. It's a super easy technique. If you're just joining, my name is Amy, and I love being able to literally help others. It is honestly just a passion that I have. Sharing is caring. I love giving out just this beautiful tidbit. So I go live every Monday night twice, actually, kind of the way that my stuff is structured. So I have a Honest Sassy Mama social media page where the topics that I do on there are very broad to help everyone. And then it really narrows down. So I have a Facebook group called Feeling Lost, Get Your Balance Back. The links also are in the description. That one is where I show you how to do work on yourself for staying balanced, um, mind, body, soul. It's all about any energy work. And then if you are like, hey, I am ready to take this to the next level and you want to get your PhD in energy work, I have the Soul Centered Academy where I teach courses and help you to just completely get yourself balanced and elevated to a higher vibrational level where you will find your joy again. And it's all about diving into all of the garbage that people taught you growing up as a kiddo. And you learn all of these nasty beliefs that now suppress you as an adult. And half of us don't even know who we really are. Hello. Hi, Lisa. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to teach you about this super cool technique, you guys. It's so easy to use, but one of the questions that I get asked a lot is how in the world do I manage the amount of stuff that I manage? So, um, just to kind of give you a little idea of what that entails. So, I am a mom. Um, I have kids ranging from 6 to 21. And yes, at times it is a lot. I also work a full time corporate job. Um, and I'm lucky in that aspect, I think, because I really do love my job. Um, one of the things that's kind of interesting is I always have people trying to tell me that I need to quit my job and do my other business full time. Like there's some kind of like carnal law that says that you should have to do that. Anyway, I neither apologize for who I am, but it works for me. Okay. I also have my healing practice. So it started out called Blocked Emotions, where I work with your subconscious to help you release blocked emotions, toxic phrases, negative events, energies, all kinds of stuff from your subconscious so you can function again. That blossomed into me creating the Soul Centered Academy where you can actually learn to do what I do because I realized, wow, I can only help so many people if I'm doing one on one sessions. But if I teach you how to do it, then I can help that many more people. Right. Okay. So there you go. I have certified in hypnosis, NLP, body code. I created my own method called ELV, which kind of combines a bunch of stuff that I like to use together in one little beautiful package, human design, um, Reiki, all kinds of stuff. So there you go. I also have a master's degree in education and another one in another one in food safety and quality. I almost said in human safety. So I think it shows. Like I love learning and I love absorbing in as much knowledge as I can get and then giving it back to you. So I like to tell you, like, let me do all the hard work and then I'll just regurgitate all that into something simple for you. So that's why we're talking about tomatoes and thyme, is because how do I do all that? Right? And create journals and work on writing a book and do retreats and speaking events and all this, that, and the other. So this is called the Pomodoro Technique. It is Italian for the word tomato. So if you speak Italian and I'm hashing that up, then, by all means, feel free to correction there. I have never been to Italy. I've been to lots of places. Unfortunately, that is not one of them. But anyways, it is called the Pomodoro Technique because it is named after a tomato. What in the world does a tomato have to do with time? It's actually named after that because of a kitchen timer that looks like a tomato. And so the way that this works is, let's caveat, as I always tell you, to do things that work for you. So never go into anything, I don't care what it is, and try to mesh yourself into something. If it works slightly different for you, then own it and go with it. That's the beauty of any process. So you can do this different ways, but I'm going to teach you the foundational process, which then you can modify however you'd like. So you set your day so that you spend 25 focused minutes on a task. And then you spend 5 minutes taking a break from your focused task. And then you do this and you repeat it. And then after you do it 4 times, you give yourself a little bit longer of a break. Now, I'm really not that great at following rules, and I like to make things up as I go. So I really focus myself most on the 25 and 5, and then how do I feel? And how many times am I going to do that? Or, if it's like time for you to take a lunch break, then you take your longer break then. I know people that do this in sets of 45 minutes with a 15-minute break. Here's what the underlying thing is that you really want to wrap your little noodle around. It's all about the focus time, okay? Because here's what you're doing. You're telling yourself that you're going to focus for this amount of time. You set a timer. There's actually a couple of different apps. There's one called Focus Keeper and another one called 3030 on your iPhone that you can modify to do this. So what you would do is set a timer. Keep in mind, if you set a timer on your phone, right, you don't want to have notifications coming in from Facebook. You don't want your email chiming at you. You don't want text messages going off. So if that doesn't work for you, then that's where it comes into the tomato. Get yourself a really, cute little tomato timer. In fact, as I'm talking about this, I'll even find you one. Because that way, your tomato timer isn't going to be talking to you, which I don't know about you, but I would say like I'm highly susceptible to being incredibly distracted by my phone because I swear it goes off about every 5 seconds. And so let me see if I can find you a tomato timer and then you can see it. Okay, perfect. So here we go. Yeah, they're so cute. I mean, I honestly just want to get a tomato timer for myself because it is just that stinking cute. So I will post this, but here's how we go. So we do the tomato timer. This one has, I'm just finding you a good one because I'm never going to give you something that isn't, I check the rate. I'm not going to give you a tomato timer with 6 ratings. So I'm finding you the bestest tomato. Oh, kids. This one, please have a lot of rate. No, it's not. They're the cutest though, but their ratings are kind of sad. Okay. So, is what you do is you set that up and then you do I'll come back and do this tomato timer in a minute because it's now becoming a distraction and I need a timer for my tomato timer because I'm getting distracted. Okay, so here is the underlying thing with this. So let's say that I know that I need to let's just use something simple. Let's say that I have to get a thing done. What's something that we all have to do? Like, I don't know, I'm making this way too difficult. I was thinking essay, but then I was like, Amy, everyone doesn't write essays. Taxes. There you go. That's a good one. Think of you need to get your taxes done. And so that's something that you're like, oh, I'm going to get my taxes done. And you know that you have from now until, what's the tax deadline nowadays? I don't even know. Now until April 15th. So what happens is your noggin is like, I have from now until then. And so we do this thing called work expands to fill the time available. So guess what you'll do? You'll take the entire time to do your taxes. Okay. If you set it up so that you're like, oh, if your taxes were due this Saturday, then guess what you would do, right? You would fill the time and you would get your taxes done by Saturday. If you knew that your taxes were done tomorrow morning, you would get them done by tomorrow morning. That's just what we do. I don't know why, but I have all these little teeny tiny gnats. I've never had little teeny tiny gnats in my house before, and they're just everywhere. So it fills up that space. So that's the whole philosophy behind this is if you do 25 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever it is, and you set a timer, then you have speed on your side because you're like, well, I mean, what happens to you when you are being pushed, right, for some time? You are going to go faster. Like I know in the mornings when I get up, if I happen to be running late, and I'm one of those people that like, when I get up at the same time every single day. I never hit the snooze button on my phone. So getting out of bed is not the issue for me, but I may do something where I get distracted and then I don't get what I need to get done in the morning. And so then I start, man, you guys, I'm here to tell you there is a lot of freaking cute timers, but I might just do this guy because he's available in lots of different freaking colors. He is an owl timer, or maybe you can get a moo timer, which is a cow. Really, when it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter, but I'm telling you that this timer is cute and it's a cow. So I might just actually go with that one. Okay. But when you focus on it, it makes you get it done. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I have 5 minutes to get ready, suddenly you start going faster. So if you get ready in the morning, I mean, how many of you actually have like a time that you have to get ready? I mean, I know that I allow myself to get ready in a way more amount of time than I actually need. But if for some reason I get really distracted, then I am going to get ready basically I have the same amount of stuff to get done, right? But now I'm suddenly going to get ready that much quicker because I'm being forced to do it. So that's kind of like the philosophy behind it is that you are going to know that you only have 25 minutes. So you focus on it. Whereas otherwise, if you're kind of like, I have all day to do this, then you sort of like ho hum around. So I decided to, when I started looking at this, I decided to, here you go. It's so cute. So here's you one. Check out this moo timer. It's so freaking cute. I was watching someone do these techniques, and I'm going to tell you that for me personally too, I think it works specifically for things that are like, don't use this technique for things that for like exercising because it doesn't work as well for something like that. But if you need to do something like your taxes, write an essay, work on a book, Something that you need to really be focused on if you're a business owner and you need to do emails, if you need to do like a specific task like that, and then be smart about it. If you're like, okay, checking my emails, how much time do I really need to allot myself to reply to emails? Well, that probably depends on how many emails you have. So if I take the entire weekend off, then I'm going to be like smart Sally and say, okay, maybe I need to set 45 minutes to do emails because I have a lot of emails to catch up on because I did the whole weekend. So some of this is making it flexible to work for you. So if the 25-15, that's kind of the standard for doing this technique, isn't really going to work for you, then do the 45 and even 5. Now, so you can change what you're doing every 25 minutes, because this is another thing that people get stuck on is they're like, okay, so do I have to go back to the same thing I was working on before? Now, as I just showed you when I was searching for a timer, I have a bit of some attention deficit disorder. So I don't like to do the same task every 25 minutes. So I might do a client session. I'm doing a client session by email. So I'll be like, okay, 25 minutes. I'm going to do this client session. And then I'm going to take my 5 minutes. And then I might come back and start writing on my book. I might start working on my book. And then I'm going to do that for 25 minutes. And then I'm going to take a 5-minute break. And then I might come back and do another session on a client, another email session for 25 minutes, and then do the 5 minutes. And then probably by then, I need to do 25 minutes of something that's actually not at my desk. So change it up. So then I might go, and that might be my time that I'm going to exercise. So, and then that case, I might know that I'm using my OpenFit app. And so my exercise session is 30 minutes. So I'm going to do 30 minutes, and I probably won't even set a timer, right? Because the app is doing a course and it's 30 minutes long, and then do 5 minutes. See how? Allow yourself to be really flexible with it. If it was summertime and I was riding my horses, then mine would be a little bit different because I got to allow myself more time to go out and do that, right? I'm not going to be able to go out and ride a horse in 25 minutes. So then I would use this technique to do it per se as I'm going to ride. So I have 4 horses. I'm going to ride this horse for 25 minutes, and then I'm going to do a 5-minute break, and then I'm going to ride this horse for 25 minutes, and then I'm going to do a 5-minute break. See how that kind of works? Now for me, what does the 5-minute break mean? You cannot, well, I'm not going to say that you can't. I do not stay at my desk for my 5-minute break because that's not really a 5-minute break. So let's say that during my 5-minute break, I'm going to allow myself to go on TikTok. I'm actually going to get up from my desk and go somewhere else and maybe walk around and look at TikTok on my phone. I'm not going to do everything sitting here at my desk because that doesn't really calculate into a break from the monotony of sitting at my desk. So be cognizant of what you're doing for your break, and then be honest with yourself, because how easy is it to then start getting on your phone and be like, oh, that was 25 minutes of playing on my phone looking at TikTok. So, be honest with yourself. Okay. So allows you, allows you. So some of the tips for this. This is allowing you to break stuff down. So, right, if you're writing a book, you can't do it in 25 minutes. So you break it into little pieces. So if I was doing that, I might be like, I'm going to work on this specific chapter. That's this specific heading, or I'm going to work on, if you're like me and you have, I have multiple businesses. So I have like 7 different email accounts. Then I might be like, ooh, I'm going to work on specifically this part of my business with this email account. Or I'm going to break this down into, maybe you are into making stuff for Etsy and you have a business and you sell things. So you might do 25 minutes of working on your project that maybe you make things that you paint. It's a specific, I don't know, maybe you have an assembly line set up, right? And you're going to work on painting everything that needs to be painted black for 25 minutes, whatever that is, if you're making crafts. So break it down, because that's also why this technique works really well, is because if I do make things on Etsy and maybe I was like, oh, do I have something on my desk? You see those like really cool jars, or maybe, I'm working on making a journal. I'm going to work on the cover for 25 minutes and then the inside for 25 minutes. So break stuff down so it's not some big astronomical task. And that way your mind will be able to focus on it. Because when we look at them, so that huge thing, you're like, ooh, it seems icky and you don't want to do it. The other thing is, you know that I'm all about my 3 non-negotiable items. In fact, I actually just got some of my new inner child journals. Just came in the mail a minute ago. I actually thought they were right here, but I must have put them somewhere else. Oh, they're right here. So part of the inner child journal, right, is that there are 3 non-negotiable items that you do for yourself every day. And that's what goes over here. So you probably have a time of the day where your energy is a lot higher than another time of the day. So for me, mine is definitely in the morning. So I'm going to heavy load my morning with the things that I probably don't want to do later on in the day that take a little more penguins. So I will, if I'm like working on my book, I'll do it in the morning because the writing comes really easy for me really early in the morning and not at all at nighttime. So I'm going to do my 3 non-negotiable items. And I'm also going to start with the one that I am most aligned to do with when I have the most energy in the day, which is in the morning. So that also helps me. So when you need to write down what you are doing for your Pomodoro technique so that you also aren't wasting time trying to figure out what to do next. So you write it down, put them in order, put your top 3 non-negotiables first, and then everything else you want to get done after. So if you do get distracted or something happens because you don't have control over, grandma stopping by or whatever, then you can adjust your schedule as necessary. That's why I suggest front loading. If that also too is if you're like me and that's where your energy is. Okay. Here's the last tip I'm going to tell you with this technique. Okay, Amy, what if I'm going and it's like, woo, I'm on fire and I'm typing 350 words per minute and my timer is about to go off and I am deep-seated in this thing that I'm doing. Do I force myself to stop and take a break because that's how the technique goes? I'm going to say no. For me, I'm not. If I'm really flowing and I'm just like super engaged in whatever I'm doing, I don't need to do that. That's the whole point of it, is to keep yourself focused. So if I find that I'm totally focused on what I'm doing, I'm just going to knock the timer off and just keep going until I run out of steam. And then I will stop. And then I will take my 5-minute break. And then I will start the process again. So allow yourself to be flexible because nothing works well when you shove yourself into a box. If you're a structured person and you really need that, then keep it like that. If you're not and you need a little bit of flexibility to it, right? That's why I see with my clients why so many people fail on eating and dieting is because they don't give themselves enough choices. And whenever we restrict ourselves, then we tend to go haywire and go off the path because we're being too restrictive. So let yourself balance. Let yourself sort of be like, okay, where does this feel good for me? Okay, last thing I'm going to tell you, guys, if you want to be able to read your blueprint, I'm telling you, I am doing this course. It is all about learning about your human design. And I'm going to share something with you that is why I really am so passionate about this. Okay. So as they started diving into it, there's this thing that happens to me where people either love me or they absolutely hate me. And I grew up my entire life thinking that something was wrong with me until I dove into this and realized that it is all part of who you are. And when you realize that and you accept it and embrace it with this beautiful, amazing love, you can understand why things happen for you a certain way or why you are a certain way, and then you can use it to your advantage instead of fighting it. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. So when I was diving into my own human design, I learned that I really resonate with people that are really honest and are very truthful and have high levels of integrity. And so one of the things with my human design is when I come into a room, people that are aligned with that are very drawn toward me. And they're like, ooh, when our energies overlap, it feels really good. But then there are some people that run absolutely run. And so this was really hard for me, especially with people like in family where, you're taught, oh, your family should love you and you should love them and everyone should be super kumbaya. And then especially like I get into, like people with my extended family, and I'm like, ooh, why do some of them they just don't like me? And then I'm like chasing after because I'm like, oh, I want her to like me. And why doesn't she like me? And then I realized, no, okay, as I dive into my human design, is what's happening is because of how my energy is. If I get around someone that isn't aligned like that and they maybe aren't really honest and they're not living with integrity and they're doing some shady stuff, guess what happens? It's almost like they have a chemical reaction with their own energy because mine is catalyzing theirs and they don't like the way it feels. And so then they're like, ooh, I don't want to be around her, right? Because it's almost like my energy calling your energy out. So here I go my entire life thinking something is wrong with me because why do some people love me and why do some people hate me so much? And then I find out, oh my gosh, this is one of my energy flows. This is one of my channels. And so it then makes complete sense. So why am I telling you this? Because I'm totally inviting you that if this sounds like something that you're like, dang, I would super love to find out that about my own self, or you would like to find that out because guess what happens when you do this and I show you how to do it, you're going to want to do it for everyone. And you're going to want to do it for all of your family. And it's really cool. It's super cool. And I'm going to share this little moment with you because I realized this as well. Here's the little link if you want to join my tribe. If you have someone that has passed away, especially a child that you didn't get to spend much time with, you can run their chart and you can get some essence for the type of personality that they have. And that to me is like really, honestly, a super precious gift. So anyway, you will want to run it on all your kids. You'll want to run it on your spouse. You want to run it on whoever. So basically, you can hop in there. It's my beta group. So that means that as I'm creating the course as I go, that's what a beta group is for me. That way I can use feedback from the people in my course to make sure that my course is of value to other people that are taking it, because sometimes when you really know stuff, it's hard to know what other people don't know, right? And so I want to make sure that it's simple enough for people to understand it, but it's high level enough for people that are already doing this kind of work that it also is beneficial to them as well. But it's only $67, which is crazy because these types of courses cost lots of money. So there you go. It's all about me. Join my tribe. You get to be super integrated, hands-on with me. And I love helping and I love teaching. And there you go. Okay. So there's the cute little link to the timer. You can, take a look at that and you can use this little tomato technique, guys. It seriously is so simple. It helps you focus. I got to show you the owl timer too. So you can hang on here for 5 seconds. I'm going to show you it because it's so freaking cute. And now I'm going to be like, ugh, I have to get all the timers. This is what happens. I start collecting things and then before you know it, I've got 72 egg timers, which is exactly where I see this going for myself. And then Dave will be like, babe, why do you have 17 kitchen timers? And I will say, well, because they were so cute and they came in all these different colors. And then I had to have one of every color. So here's what I'm doing. I'm just finding, I never ever want to give you guys a link to something that I do not or would not buy myself. And so that's why I'm finding you one. Yeah, I'm not going to give you the link to the timer with 6 ratings because that would be not aligned with my integrity to give you one with that many ratings. So, man, the Alzheimer's are a little more difficult to find one that actually has more than 3 ratings. I might have to study this. I might have to really look. Okay, we're going to do this one. It has, I would say, a decent amount. So here you go. Actually, I'm not going to share that with you. It doesn't have enough. I don't feel right about it. Okay, there you go. Go with the Moo one. The Moo one is good. The Moo moo, moo, moo. But really, I really didn't know there was so many different cute timers. I'm like, sort of feel like I need them all, right? They come in lots of colors. Okay, guys, there we go. See how easy I get sidetracked? Have a beautiful rest of your night. Thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions about the human design course, absolutely feel free to send me a message. I will personally respond back to you. And thanks for joining. Bye.